So far we have looked at various applications of composite materials. So now let us look at more in detail what composite materials are and what are the constituents and what their properties are. We have learned that composites are light, stiff and strong materials. They are combination of two or more than two phases. One is the matrix and another is the filler, which comes in the form of fibers or particulates and so on. The role of fiber is to take the maximum load, and the role of matrix is to hold the fibers together and transmit the load to the fibers. The adhesion between the fiber and the matrix is very critical in this case. These are the classifications of polymer composites. They can be made of thermoset or thermoplastic matrices. Polymer composites can be divided into three major classes. One is called particulate filled, another is fiber filled, and the third one is network composites. The particulate filled composite materials have fillers, but they are in the form of particles, not long fibers. The size of these particles can be from micron to nano range, and therefore we have got two types of particulate filled composites: nano composites or micro composites. These are basically defined by the size of the particle themselves, that is, the diameter of the particles. The second class, which are the fiber filled, are the most used composites. They are of two types. One is of continuous fiber and another is discontinuous fiber. The continuous fiber, as the name suggests, here the fibers are very long and they continuously go along the length of the part. They can be of three types: unidirectional, that means the fibers are all in one direction. So here in this case they are all in this length direction. It can be bidirectional. So in this case some fibers are in this vertical direction and some fibers are in this horizontal direction. So only two directions are used. And it can be also multidirectional or quasi-isotropic. So in multidirectional, the fibers are in more than two directions. So either they can be three distinct directions or they can be more than three directions. And they produce what is called quasi-isotropic. So these kind of composites have very homogeneous type of properties. Within fiber field, there are discontinuous fibers. So these kind of composites have fibers, but these fibers are not continuous, but rather they are chopped. They are also known as chopped fiber composites. So in some cases these chopped fibers can be aligned in one direction or they can be at random. So in this case they are at random in all directions possible. The third class of polymer composites are network composites. So in this case the filler is in the form of some sort of network or some sort of structure. So for example, we have honeycomb structure here, and this one is open cell structure. So the filler material can be in the form of these cell structures, and they can be filled with, the empty spaces can be filled with the matrix or any kind of polymer. So this will also produce a composite material. But in our case, mostly we will be talking about continuous or discontinuous fiber composites or particulate composites. Typical fibers and their tensile properties. Although there are many different types of fibers we can use, but these are the typical fibers that we use for making polymer composites. Glass fiber was the earliest one. So the very first fiber reinforced plastics were made of glass fibers. Carbon fiber came along later on. In the carbon material, there are different types of fibers. So for example, carbon nanotube, long or short carbon fibers, carbon nanofiber, etc. So there are different types of carbon material we can use in the composites. Boron can be used in the form of fiber, silica, or even synthetic fibers such as aramid can be used, which is also known as Kevlar. Even PET fiber can also be used. So there are many different types of fibers. One of the important aspect of these fibers is that these fibers are extremely strong compared to the matrix. Here we have got stress and strain curves for many of these fibers we have just explained. For example, carbon is here, next is boron, another type of carbon fiber, Kevlar. Glass has got two types, S and E type here. We can see that carbon and boron gives the highest stiffness because the value of E or Young's modulus is high for this carbon and boron fiber. whereas glass fiber gives the lowest value of elastic modulus. So now we can look at the data themselves. So carbon fiber, there are two types of carbon fiber, type 1 and type 2. Cellulose fiber is what we can obtain from wood, glass fiber, aramid, epoxy matrix. So these two are the matrices, so epoxy and polyester. We can see that the density wise, glass fiber is the denser. So this has got density of 2.56 multiplied by 10 to the power cube kg per meter cube. So glass fiber makes the heaviest composite, whereas other fibers are more or less very similar in values. The modulus, we can see carbon fiber has the highest modulus here, followed by aramid fiber. Glass fiber do not give very high value of modulus. So in terms of stiffness, as we saw in this graph, stiffness is not very high for glass fiber. Boron is almost close to the carbon fiber. In terms of strength, we can see that carbon fiber has very high strength, but aramid fiber also gives a very high strength. So aramid fiber does not have very high modulus, but modulus is in between carbon and glass fiber, but strength wise aramid fiber is comparable to carbon fiber, and these two are epoxy and polyester matrices. So the role of the matrix is basically to hold the fiber together, but there are many other properties that are important in order for us to get the best matrix for the composites. These pictures show the three main fibers. This is the glass fiber, how it looks, the carbon fiber, and this is the aramid fiber. Now let's look at important matrices for composites. Both thermoset and thermoplastics can be used for making matrices. Even metals can also be used for making matrices, but here we are mostly talking about polymer based composites. Thermosets, unsaturated polyester resins and epoxy resins, they are used very commonly. They do not liberate volatiles during curing, and they can be molded using low pressure and room temperature. So this is very important. If the epoxy or if the matrix polymer releases volatile materials or like volatile gases during curing process, so that will introduce lots of defects in terms of bubbles. So those defects are not desired in composites. So that's why we select polyester and epoxy resins. Also, these two resins can be molded at low pressure, that means this normal atmospheric pressure, and at room temperature. So even at room temperature they can cure. You can initiate the curing process by adding hardener. So these properties of epoxy and polyester resins give much of advantage compared to other thermosets. Tensile properties of epoxy based composites. So let's look at some epoxy based composites. So for example, this is the matrix. Matrix is the epoxy with glass fiber, Kevlar fiber, carbon and boron. And we have got volume fraction which is close 57, 0.57, 0.6, 0.58, 0.6, so very close to each other. And we have got the density of these composite materials. So epoxy is a light material, and when we add glass fiber, the density increases. So density of boron fiber composite is the highest, followed by epoxy, which is very close to boron in terms of density, and then comes carbon and Kevlar. When we look at the tensile strength, of course the tensile strength of epoxy is very low, 0.07 gigapascal. After adding these fibers, we see that the tensile strength has improved. In the case of glass fiber, the tensile strength is 0.57. So this tensile strength is actually the fracture strength. For Kevlar 0.65, for carbon 0.38, and for boron 0.38. In terms of modulus, we can see that epoxy with glass fiber has got modulus which is the lowest. Highest modulus we can obtain from boron, followed by carbon and Kevlar. So these are some typical data taken from some references. In different literature, you will find these values are slightly different. So depending upon how the experiments are conducted, we can find the data might vary to some extent. But these are the typical type of data we will obtain in experiments. So we can say that thermoset provide high strength, excellent adhesion to the fibers, thermal resistance, and chemical resistance. Thermoplastics can also be used as the matrix. So common thermoplastics are polypropylene, nylon, styrene based plastics, polyesters, acetal, polycarbonate, polysulfone, etc. So choice of the matrix depends on the application, service conditions, and cost. So application and service conditions are very important. For example, temperature will be the guiding factor in selecting some of the matrix materials. Similarly, cost is also an important factor. If the cost has to be low, in that case, we will have to go for a plastic which is low in cost. The typical properties of fiber reinforced nylon 6/6. So nylon is a thermoplastic material. Here you can see that we have different percentages of fiber in the range of 0.4, glass fiber 0.4 with carbon, glass and carbon fiber together 0.2 and 0.2, and glass beads. So these are not fiber, these are beads, 0.4. This is the weight fraction. Now we have got the density values and we can look at the tensile strength. So this is gigapascal. So nylon tensile strength is very close to what we can get for epoxy, 0.07 gigapascal, and this composite has got 0.2 with carbon fiber 0.28, with glass and carbon fiber 0.24. So it comes somewhere in between these two, and with glass beads we can get 0.09. So we can see that glass beads do not strengthen as much as the fibers. Here we have got flexural modulus in gigapascal. Flexural modulus for nylon 6/6 is 2.8. After adding glass fiber it becomes 11.2. With carbon fiber the increase in the modulus is maximum. It becomes 24. With glass beads, increase in flexural modulus is not much, it is 5.6. In this slide we will compare properties, mechanical properties of composites with those of metals. Some of the metals that we use for high-end applications such as high strength steel and aluminum alloy. These two types of metals are actually used for many parts in aircrafts. In composites we have carbon fiber reinforced plastics, 58% uniaxial carbon in epoxy. The second one is glass fiber reinforced plastics. This is 50% uniaxial glass in polyester. So these matrices are different. Then we have Kevlar with epoxy, KFRP, 60% uniaxial. So these two composites, Kevlar epoxy and CFRP, are very similar in percentage. We do not have the data whether these are volume percent or these are weight percent, but most probably these are in weight percent. And this one is glass fiber with polyester. So the matrix is different in this case. It is not epoxy. So let us compare the mechanical properties. Starting with first, we will compare the density. So density units are here multiplied by 1000 kg per meter cube. So here we can see that GFRP is the heaviest among these three composites, 2, whereas CFRP is 1.5 and Kevlar epoxy composite is 1.4. Compared to these three composites, the metals are much more heavier because their density is high. Aluminium is considered as light metal and steel has got density in the range of 7.8 here. Now we will compare the modulus, Young's modulus in gigapascal. So CFRP gives a very high value of Young's modulus, 189. So this is the stiffest material among these three composites. And we can compare 189 with high strength steels, almost close to high strength steel. Steel is considered as a very stiff material. So CFRP can provide stiffness very close to high strength steel. Aluminum alloy has lower stiffness, which is comparable to the stiffness of Kevlar epoxy composite. GFRP has got very low Young's modulus value, so therefore it is not as stiff. Now looking at the strength among composites, CFRP gives slightly lower compared to Kevlar. Both have epoxy as the matrix, so Kevlar is better in terms of strength, and here GFRP has got higher strength, and because in this case the matrix is different, and also we should know that the properties of the fibers may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Similarly, the properties of the matrix also may vary depending upon the process. So therefore, we cannot always compare very precisely, but these are typical values and good for comparison. Compared to composites, metals have lower strength. So high strength steel, which is considered a very high strength material, has 1000 megapascal, whereas aluminum is very low. Now we will compare the fracture toughness, because fracture toughness along with modulus and strength is a very important mechanical property. If the material has very high strength but low in fracture toughness, then this material may not be used for very specialized applications. So here we see that CFRP has got fracture toughness of, in this units, megapascal meter to the power 1/2, 32 to 45. And GFRP with polyester matrix has slightly better fracture toughness. Steel, high strength steel has got very high fracture toughness, whereas aluminum is on the lower side. So now here we can see that these two composites give fairly good fracture toughness, but not as good as steel. And we know that these materials will not fail in a ductile manner, but their fracture mechanism is different, and that gives rise to higher fracture toughness. And we will talk about the mechanism of fracture toughness in another video. We do not have data for Kevlar epoxy, but Kevlar is also considered as a very tough fiber, and therefore I expect that Kevlar epoxy will have a good, in the similar range, fracture toughness. So comparing these mechanical properties, we can see that in terms of stiffness, carbon fiber reinforced plastics are good. In terms of strength, all of these composites have very good value compared to the metals. And in terms of toughness, although steel is very good, but these polymers also give quite good values. Now we will compare two more parameters. The first one is E over rho. E is the modulus, tensile modulus, and rho is the density. So E over rho ratio basically tells us how much is the modulus per unit density. So for each material we will compare E over rho, and this value, the higher the ratio, lighter the material will be for its stiffness. That means that material will be light but stiff. So if we compare these using the same units here, CFRP gives extremely high value of E over rho ratio 126. So from this point of view, we can say that CFRP is a very stiff material for its density. That means you can make a structure very light but very stiff. Compare CFRP with steel. Steel has got very low value of E over rho ratio, which means that steel, although you can get a very stiff structure, but the weight will be the price to pay. Means it will be very heavy. Other composites, glass fiber reinforced composite is not very good in that sense because density is high for this material, and also the stiffness is quite low. In fact, lowest among all the materials here. So therefore, glass fiber reinforced composite will not be considered as a light material, stiff and light material, and that's the reason why glass fiber composites are not used for aircraft applications. Kevlar composites also give quite good value 54, which is much larger than these two metals. So from the stiffness and lightness point of view, we can say that CFRP is the best. Second will be KFRP. Now another ratio, which is sigma y over rho. Sigma y represents the fracture strength or the yield strength. So in the case of composites, we will use the fracture strength. In the case of metals, we will use the yield strength divided by the density using these units. Now we can see that this ratio, again, this ratio represents the strength per unit density. The higher the value, the better will be strength and lighter will be the structure. So here, from here we can see that CFRP has got 700, compare it with metals, which is very, very low. So CFRP will again give you very high, very strong material and very light material. Now among these composites, Kevlar composite gives better performance, 886. So that means Kevlar is much stronger and lighter compared to CFRP. So because this particular material, Kevlar, has very high strength compared to carbon fiber composites, and the density of Kevlar is also lower than the carbon fiber. So that's why we get a very high value of this ratio. For the metals, basically the density is high. For steel, density is very high. Aluminium is a light metal, so density is still higher than the density of these composites. And in terms of strength, metal, high strength steel is very close to carbon fiber composites, but aluminium strength is quite low, so therefore we get very low values of this ratio. So now for any lightweight application, we will compare these two ratios. Of course, we will compare the absolute values of Young's modulus, strength, and fracture toughness. But for our decision making, we should also compare E over rho and sigma y over rho, so that we can make a decision what material will be the best for our application. So this presentation of these data basically tells us that composites are better compared to metals for their stiffness and strength when they are compared in terms of per unit density. So they give us light structure but stiff and strong. So this is the reason why composites are favored compared to the metals. Now, only from the stiffness and strength point of view, among the composites, it is quite sure that GFRP does not qualify for very high-end, very light structural applications. So we will have to restrict to CFRP, which has got very high stiffness for its density, or Kevlar fiber composite, which has got very high strength per unit of density. So our decision will be based on these data and whether our structure is stiffness based design or strength based design. Some more examples here. Effect of fiber content on the properties of glass fiber reinforced nylon 66. So we can see that with the increasing weight fraction, here we have got weight fraction, not volume fraction. So as we increase the weight fraction of glass fiber in nylon 66, how the properties will change. So of course the density will change. Nylon 66 has low density and the density will increase as we increase the weight percentage of or weight fraction of glass fiber. And tensile strength will also increase as we increase the weight fraction. Percentage elongation at break. This is something which tells us about the material's toughness, how much elongation it can sustain before it fails. So nylon is a very tough material, so it can sustain 60% elongation at break. But as soon as we add fiber, percentage elongation at break reduces. That means the material becomes much less ductile. So we can see that the percentage elongation at break is in the range of 3.5 to 1.5. As we increase the weight fraction of the fiber, the percentage elongation at break will reduce. Flexural modulus is another factor. So flexural modulus of nylon 66 is 2.8, but as soon as we add glass fiber, the modulus will increase to up to 19.6 for weight fraction of 0.6. Then there are other physical properties which are also important for composites for our mechanical design purpose. For example, thermal expansion, because the composites will be used in combination with other materials or other composites. Therefore, thermal expansion should be matched with the thermal expansion of other materials to be used. Most of the polymers have got very high thermal expansion, but once we add fiber in it, the thermal expansion will reduce, and it reduces up to 22 here in this case for 0.6 weight fraction. Now water absorption is another property because most of the engineering materials will be exposed to water at some point. For example, aircrafts will be exposed to rainwater, and we know that polymer materials absorb water. As they absorb water, their properties will degrade. Therefore, it is important that water absorption should be as low as possible. In the case of nylon, the water absorption is quite high. It can intake 1.6% of its weight in 24 hours. After adding glass fiber, the water absorption can be reduced, and it reduces to 0.4 for 0.6 weight fraction. So we can see that adding glass fiber or any kind of filler material has got advantage not only in mechanical strength but also in other physical properties which are very important for mechanical design. Here we will list some important aspects of reinforcements in composites. Fiber reinforcement has the best strengthening effect compared with particle reinforcement. Fiber diameter can vary from about 7 micrometer to 100 micrometer. So this is the range of fiber diameter. Fiber can be used in continuous or chopped strands. Length of the chopped strands can be from 3 mm to 50 mm. For chopped fiber, length to diameter ratio is known as the aspect ratio. For short fiber composites, greater the aspect ratio, greater will be the strength and stiffness. That means longer the fiber, better will be the strengthening effect. Volume fraction of the fiber VF is the ratio of the volume of the fiber VF to the volume of the composite VC. Many times weight fractions are given, so weight fraction of the fiber can be calculated from the volume fraction as follows. So weight fraction of the fiber is equal to weight of the fiber divided by the weight of the composite, and it is given as the density of the fiber multiplied by the volume of the fiber divided by density of the composite multiplied by the volume of the composite. So finally we can write in this form. So density of the fiber over density of the composite multiplied by the volume fraction of the fiber. So that will be the weight fraction of the fiber. So either weight fraction or volume fraction can be used for our any calculation purpose. I would like to summarize. Polymer composites are light, stiff and strong materials when compared with metal. Commonly, there are three types of polymer composites: particulate filled, fiber filled or network type composites. Fiber filled are two types: continuous fiber or short fiber composite. Important fibers used are glass fiber, carbon fiber, aramid or Kevlar fiber, and the matrix can be thermoset or thermoplastic polymer. Carbon fiber composites, often used with epoxy resin matrix, are very stiff, strong and lightweight. Especially, they have very high specific modulus and specific strength. Kevlar composites also have high specific strength. In comparison, metals have low specific modulus and low specific strength values. Composites also show excellent fracture toughness. Physical properties such as thermal expansion, thermal resistance, and water absorption properties are also improved after adding fillers when compared with those of the matrix. Short fiber composites have better strength and modulus if the aspect ratio of the fibers is large. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comment or question, please do write them down below in the comment section.